Hey, I'm back. Today working on the S15 again. Definitely slowed up on the progress, haven't had as many videos going up, but that's purely just because I'm waiting on stuff. Starting to have a few more packages arrive, but still waiting on the engine and box at the moment, which is definitely holding me up. One thing I've decided to do, because I've still got the template from the S13 when I did the transfer case mount, is get into the S15 and build its one. So I've roughly marked out where I reckon it'll be, just so I can remove some sound deadening before I go and find the template again. But I'll remove that, going to do some cutting, well, place the template, draw around it, do some cutting, build a bit of steel. All I'm going to do though is tack it into position, as I want to make sure it's 100% when the gearbox is in place. No point doing it twice, no point welding it right out if I've got to cut a little bit out or change it slightly. So it's easy enough just to tack it in place, then final weld it later on. But we'll get into it, remove some of the sound deadening. Hopefully some of the other parts I'm waiting on arrive while I'm doing this and I'll be able to knock them out as well. Let's get into it. Average cardboard template there, works well enough, marked everything out. Kind of see it's all there. A bit of sound deadening removed, just going to get the grinder in there, cut that roughly out. Obviously leaving a little bit so I can pop it up from the inside so I've got some lips to weld onto. But we'll get the grinder in there, cut a big fucking hole in the floor, should be good to go. Whee! Big bloody hole in the floor now. Remove the transmission mount side, actually had a broken bolt, I forgot about that. Kind of a happy thing to remove considering that, but yeah, big hole for the transfer case. All I'm going to do now is get rid of all the sound deadening off the side, start trimming it up and bend some steel up into place. Probably do it in 2 or 3 bits of steel just so I can bend it nice, have a nice smooth bit for the middle, and probably do 2 outer bits, that way I can bend back around the outer side. Should be easy enough. I'll just clean this mess up out of the way. Really, that's effectively how it's going to be. Obviously a hell of a lot tighter, but we'll make it nice, get it so the carpet will sit nice and smooth over it. Let's get into some cutting of bloody metal. Still a big hole, but now we've prepped around the outside. Got this bugger. I think it sits that way better. Doesn't sit either way great, but that's okay. We'll get it into position, tack a couple. So we've got each end, which are a bit more, well, we need a lot more manipulation on the steel, but that's the size of the hole we need for the transfer case. So I'll tack this along 3 or 4 spots, get the hammer in there, give that a bit more of a love tap, and then do the same for the outer edges. I don't want to go too nuts with the welds, as I said before, because chances are I'm going to have to modify it if it's not quite in the right spot. Annoying not to have the gearbox in and the engine to check, but we'll make do as well as I can at the moment. So I'll tack it in, gaps like that on the floor, easy enough. I'll just tap the floor into place, but it should be okay. Got a bit of room, like this front edge will come up a little bit. The back, I might even reinforce it back to the rail here, or the seat rail. We'll see how we go there. I should have enough room to weld the whole way around anyway. This bit will go, so should be easy. Bring it on. as you saw there, bit of welding. Now I've just got to mould that front bit, just a lot of tapping, a lot of tacking. Should be able to bring that over, and then I'll just cut off some excess probably as I go, and then follow form, pretty much do the same for the back but with a bit more of a shallower flow to the bend, and it's pretty much done. This mount is most likely bigger than it needs to be, as I'd rather go a little bit overkill, and it's out of the way where it is anyway. I reckon that looks like it's a pretty good success. We've got everything welded in now. Ended up taking a scallop out here as well, just because it didn't need as much space as I'd created. It looks like it kicks out a lot, but really doesn't. I have welded all the seams on the steel I have added in, but it still just tacks around the outside in case I've got to take it out and modify it in any way. Ended up just a little triangle down that bottom corner, and I still have to tap the floor up a little bit, so the sound deadening's about to fall off. Far out. Yep, that's off. Got a rubbish bin sitting under the car, so I'll flick that into it. But yeah, looking pretty good, pretty chuffed on how that's turned out. Means once I get the gearbox in, I'll be able to, hopefully it all works out. Pretty confident it will do. But yeah, once it's all in there, I'll work it out from there. Then just finish welding it, seam sealer. Then I can underbody spray the rest of the car, including under the front guards as well, which is pretty good. And the interior can kind of go back in. Well, I found I need to run a bit of the wiring under the carpet, so I'll probably avoid putting it in for a little while. But for now, gonna prep this radiator, just a basic Chinese eBay one, actually an SR radiator, even though we're going to RB, to have weld on -16 fittings and one -6 fitting for the turbo. Probably just cut the bits off today. Really don't want to deal with the TIG, don't have the patience for it. But yeah, knock that out. And the other thing I've got to do, which I've got standing over here, is just the wiring loom for the headlights. I just had brand new headlights arrive as well, so I want to pull them out of the boxes and work out what plugs are needed, as I'll probably go to the records and get some ones without overspray off another car. Just work out what plugs they are, take some photos, cut them off, and then take them along with me. Well, that was quick and easy. Probably the easiest thing I've done all day. Just cut the two ends off the radiator, chuck some Raceworks fittings in. I got some -16 there, -16 there, and a -6 there, just with a hole underneath, so it sits pretty good. That one will be the easiest to weld. Still got to clean the radiator out of all the metal swarf, and just the inner edges need a lot of cleaning. The top fitting, I'm actually going to grind that down probably another 5-6 mil, just so it sits as close to the radiator as possible, because it'll run a 90 off there, and I want it to be able to clear the front of the timing cover really easily. So finish that off today, just give that a bit more of a grind. We'll see. As long as I don't burn my fingers, which could happen, then I'll just get annoyed and walk away. But that's me done for the day. Been a tough one. Nothing like cutting a hole in a $30,000 car. Well, whatever you value a S15 at now. But yep, pretty stoked on how that came out. Just going back to it, even though I showed you a bit of work on it. But yeah, chuffed. Yeah, I think that'll be me done. Can't think of anything else I really want to knock out today.